Welcome back, everyone. All right, so let's go ahead and let's model another one. So I'm going to go and I'm going to scale this along the z-axis, something like that. Scale this along the x-axis, just like this here. And I think that should be good. Tab into edit mode. Let's do a loop cut like that. And we'll set up our mirror modifier. And I'm actually going to, you can actually model this. For example, if we add in a mirror modifier here, and we say scale on the x-axis and the y-axis, watch what happens when I delete these vertices here. You can see here that there are two, we're modeling it on two angles here, so you can see that it looks kind of like this. This is not necessarily a bad idea. The problem here is we do need to kind of move that in here, and you can see that we just need to kind of move it more like that here, or we can select it all and we can kind of move it like this here. It's up to you what you want to do. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here, so we move it out and then we kind of just mold it in the center like that. All right, and there we go. And now we can, when we do this here, we can now edit things accordingly. So let's go and let's add another loop cut here, and this will be our sword here, and I'm going to go into face select mode, and I'm going to push E to extrude, and you can see how easy this is going to get here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit cooler here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it out just a bit here, and actually I'm just going to push E to extrude like that, and I'm going to move this out just here like that. Pop into face select mode, push E to extrude again. Usually you need some kind of buffer if you want to, let's say, move it in, and there we go. Something like that. I think that's pretty good. Just like this, and go E to extrude again. Yeah, there we go. We'll move it all the way up top. And what we can do is we can make the point here. We'll make this a little bit more interesting, like that. And we'll take this vertice, hop into vertice select mode, and we'll move this guy down something more like this. So it's a little bit more of a point. And move this guy in so it's more of a sword with an edge. And we can also move this guy into, there we go. So we got somewhat of an edge there. And I think that's starting to look pretty cool. Now what we can really do is we can really kind of just move this in as much as we want, but I think that's probably good. And we can take this guy and even move it out just a bit if we really wanted to. Now, one of the things, if we do that here, if we take this vertice and move it out a bit, it gives the illusion that it has more geometry than it does. So you can do that if you want. Let's go and let's go into the edge select here, and let's go and modify this a bit more. We'll take this in, and we'll take this in too, just like that. Okay, there we go. Now let's make this a lot cooler than it actually is, and we'll give it something a little bit more fancy. We'll move this down like this, and actually we'll move it in a bit. And what I'll do is I'll extrude this, and normally, see, it's extruding along the z-axis. We want to kind of freeform this. There we go. And then I'm going to take the top here, and we can actually even move it up like this, but I'm actually going to extrude it. But I want this to actually be quite a bit bigger, so I'm actually going to undo all of that here. I'm going to push E to extrude, push Z to kind of, so we'll just put E to extrude, and then we'll kind of move it down like that. Alright, and we'll extrude that there. And this is going to be epic, and we can actually even scale this in along the y-axis if we want. So push scale this along the y-axis, and you can just kind of do that. Looks pretty cool. I think it actually looks quite neat. If we really wanted to, we could kind of tweak that a bit. But let's go to the bottom here, and we will go and we'll extrude this here. And what I'll do is I'll actually move this out a bit, and I'm going to push E to extrude here, and then I'm going to move this all the way in. Something more like that. And make this really small, because one of the things is that you see that this square looks really small, but when you extrude it, it's quite large. All right, and then let's extrude it again, and then what we need to do is kind of zoom in here into the edge select mode, and we'll make this bigger like this, and you'd extrude this, you'd extrude again, and then we kind of put in this little edge here. Now, one of the things I should mention is that if you're into mobile gaming, you're going to want to do swords that kind of look like this. They kind of look blocky. The reason is that you don't have a lot of resources on the mobile devices, and because of that, I'm going to move that in. And because you don't have a lot of resources, it makes it a lot easier to. It makes it so that you can actually render it. Okay, so we'll actually move this guy in just a bit. Yeah, and by the way, you can see how there's all these square and kind of rectangular areas. If you just do something like this, it adds in all the difference that you need. Just kind of move up the edges like that. Just move them up, something like that. And you can even move this guy in a bit. Now there's an extra, this vertex here is just a little bit too much, so I'm actually just going to take it out a bit. And there we go. And that's actually pretty cool sword. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.